Welcome to This Is Me, episode 2011. So 2011. This is Chris Gilmore, and we're laying down some podcasts lately. We've got a bit more time. Obviously, the lockdown and the restrictions has freed up a little bit more time, and so I really want to get as much content out there for you guys. Thanks for all the feedback. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. And today's podcast, one of my favorites, favorite topics, and it's a word that's it's often used quite regularly for different meanings, but a side hustle. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And it's all about how to start a side hustle and what it means and where it originated from. So it's kind of cool. I love having a side hustle. I've got a couple of little side hustles apart from the real estate of what I do as my main job. So I can't think of anyone who just has one interest in life and that's all they want to do for the rest of their life. So the term side hustle just seems to fit with this ethos where people are putting together a few different things to really make a living. And I think this is more relevant now than ever before. So where the word actual side hustle really originated from, its roots were actually very popular back in African-American newspapers I think it was around the early 1920s. And these papers used to use the word hustle to refer to some sort of scam back in the 20s. But by the 1950s, they were actually using side hustle to refer to legitimate work too. So a side hustle is a little different to a second job, because a second job is all about necessity. While a side hustle can certainly bring in extra income, it's a little bit more aspirational, and more people are probably a little bit more passionate about their side hustle. And it can really, it captures a certain kind of scrappy entrepreneurial spirit. So now a lot of people go, how do we start? What do we do? What should we be looking at? So the first thing that you've really, that people are seeing opportunity come alive is really just in their community and finding a really niche sort of market where you can really start that side hustle. Now, the goal here isn't necessary to be the next Google, Facebook, Coke, McDonald's. Now, scale is great, but there's also a beauty in successful business that's built for a specific audience, and you need to remember that. Second, people are increasingly interested in being their own boss. Now, being your own boss does really take some discipline. Self-made millionaires tend to have one big trait in common. They make decisions and they hold themselves accountable and push through in the face of challenges. Now, a side hustle is a great way to try out being your own boss and see if you've actually got those skills before stepping out, onto your own. So now the third one is people are multi-passionate. And I want to stress that not every side hustle is started because someone hates their job. Many people start simply because they're interested in lots of different things. We're always being taught and we're supposed to know what we want to do when we grow up, when we're going through the schooling. And I'm in my late 30s and I still don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm just going along doing what I'm doing. But when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a Formula One race car driver. I always wanted to be a race car driver of some sort. Now that dream never come, ahead. So, you got to look at other options. So, but when you're multi-passionate, you want to dip and you want to dabble in different things. And it doesn't mean that you're not committed to your job. It just means that you have other outlets that can bring you joy. And now that brings me to the final thing. The side hustle revolution shows us people want to make bets on themselves. Side hustles, they're appealing because it's easier to take that chance when you have some sort of income coming in from your main job. Even if a side hustle doesn't take off, it is still an investment in yourself. Now, from my research, 41% of millennials who have a side hustle say they've actually shared that information with their employers. They're not worried about their bosses reacting negatively. They recognize that all learning and growth comes with running a side hustle. Now, everyone is looking to feel, that we're all wanting to be inspired and feel fulfilled in life. But 38% of baby boomers feel that some kind of regret about their career. And I can tell you right now, if you're laying on your deathbed, the last thing that you want to do in this world is leave this world with regret. The truth is that there are many different ways to find happiness through what we do. Now, side hustles are all about embracing that hope that we can be the ones making the decisions in how we spend our work lives. And that's the beauty about having a side hustle. So I would love to hear your comments, some feedback. I would love to know if you guys have started a side hustle and what that side hustle was, and how has that side hustle grown, and have you been lucky enough to take that side hustle and now it's now a full-time job for you, because that's how many of these things happen. But my biggest advice for a side hustle is, make sure that you've got a stable job to supplement the income. And you can, most people work between 9 and 5, so you've still got plenty of other hours in the day when most people are sleeping. So you could do from 7 o'clock at night till 2 a.m. in the morning and then get some sleep and then go back to your original job. That is how you can start a side hustle. So I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments about your side hustle. And that is episode 2011. This is me, Chris Gilmore. Thanks for tuning in, guys.